What impossible situation do you often fantasize about? Winning the lottery. Impossible because I have never bought a ticket. I'll buy a ticket every now and then because that 0.00001% chance. I'll dream for a bit, with that ticket making that dream just 0.00001% more tangible. Then I go back to the real world, where I continue working hard towards my life goals because I know they aren't just going to fall on my lap. But I can spare the few bucks here and there. No different than someone else going out for a drink since I don't drink. That's the fun of playing, really. The day of daydreaming. That I wake up as a 16-year-old me with the knowledge of current me. I've always fantasized about this. But I think if this happened now that I have a kid, I can't stand the thought of not ending up with the exact kid I have now. So even though there were so many better choices I could have made if this option was put before me, I couldn't do it. So you do it. You go back, live a different life, have a different kid, come to love them immensely as well. Then are given the choice to return to kid A. What do you do? Having time control abilities. Waiter. Enjoy your meal, sir. You too. Waiter. You. Time travel. Not having to work but still having an income to take care of everything. That's the dream. I have a few. A world where all the people have vanished. Suddenly having the powers of a god and being able to alter reality with a thought. Winning the lottery. A world where all the people have vanished. I do this one a lot. It's weirdly fascinating. I don't really want everyone gone, but if I could just keep like 10 people, I'd be cool with it. Winning an argument with an arsehole and then everyone proceeding to clap while the Ashad does the walk of shame. Being a Pokemon trainer. Dying and having your mind be merged with someone else's so a part of you lives within them. They will know everything about you and never make the same mistakes you made, and at the same time, you will be seeing through someone else's eyes. I love the idea of it. Sounds like reincarnation with past life memories. Which is to say, lots of people share the same fantasy as you. You are not alone. Packing a bag, getting into my car, and driving away to some random city or town and just starting over. We did just that. My wife's job offered her a promotion and relocation in a new state or a layoff if we stayed put. We moved 850 miles away with 2 weeks notice and a 2-year-old child. It was the best damn decision I ever made. I got out of the small town rut and started a whole new life. Being able to send my consciousness back to myself in the past, with everything I know now. I'd do so many things differently, avoiding the mistakes, having the experiences I never had, etc. Having my life together and not simultaneously failing at everything. Out of the million sperm from your dad and million eggs from your mom, they just happen to make you at the exact right moment. Not to mention that happened for thousands of generations across random encounters of strangers. You're a success story just being alive. Later this evening, take a walk with a super icy bottle of water. It's not so bad, and whatever's bugging you is probably surmountable. Also, your great-great-grandpa is calling you a bitch right now for whining on the internet. Being able to eat all the food without becoming morbidly obese and dying. I'm on my 3rd imaginary pulled pork right now. Holographic meatloaf. My favorite. Immortality and being my video game characters. I'm not even a child anymore. You are. We all are. The world is divided into kids and those who are good at pretending they're not kids anymore. Post-apocalyptic scenarios where I'm somehow still alive, and what I would do. I'm making plans to be a local warlord. Being debt-free. After you're debt-free, you start accumulating debt again. Can confirm. Parents died and I got ins money. Paid off all my debts. Felt great. Then bought a house and I now owe $68K. Back in the hole. My dog living a human lifespan instead of a 12-year one. My dog growing up is now 11 and now we're all fixated on having the diggity dog be as healthy as possible. My dad takes him on 2 walks a day and I force him to run around in the backyard. He loves walks but wants to go back inside after a few minutes, So I'll grab a bone or a piece of cheese and make him chase me until I get tired. Lately, he refuses to go for a second walk, so my dad has to pick the idiot up and pet him until he comes. My mom also makes sure he gets nutrition. She gives him healthy human food with his dog food, which he eats all of. I'm moving out in a few months, so he won't be running outside, but I can trust my parents to give him exercise. Being loved and cared for by someone who has genuine feelings for me. Don't we all? Same dude, same. I'm in this post and I don't like it. Pooping in my dreams and not pooping the bed in real life. Edit. Lmao, thanks for the silver. You ever have those dreams where you need to poop and so you find a toilet, but you fill the toilet up with so much poop and the poop overflows, so you start to panic and now someone's knocking on the bathroom door asking what's going on in there? How about dreams where you keep searching for bathrooms but they're all cursed in some way, like toilet in the middle of the living room, or like stall with a half door so everyone can see your lower half etc. Or when you finally found a toilet and some guy keeps opening the door or looking over the stall and it goes on for dream hours. That my car had Mad Max like weaponry and I was licensed to crush divers who ignore road rules. I too wish divers stuck to pools instead of being on the road. Having a relationship with anyone I'm interested in. Who are you interested in? I think he's interested in Shrek. Thinking of a smart comment in the argument not after. I have retroactively won so many arguments in the shower. Same. I've done it so often for one argument that I can't remember what actually happened. I probably just sat there. Whenever I'm faced with a decision, I wish I had the power to travel to the future and see what a day in my life looks like 10 or 20 years out with each choice. Is this a big decision that could significantly impact my future? Will things basically be the same either way? Which one brings me more happiness? Having a limited ability to revert time. Can only go back 12 hours at a time. And once the ability is used, you need to wait at least the amount of time you rewound before you can do it again. Basically, you can't chain leap backwards ad infinitum. You could essentially restart the same 12 hours over and over. But once you have let time progress more than 12 hours, that moment will be out of your reach forever. I think about how many times I would loop the same 12 hours before letting time progress, what I would use that extra time for, how I would perhaps slowly turn cold and distant from those around me, seeing them merely as automatons, doomed to repeat the same mannerisms over and over, before I let time naturally run its course again. There are things that can be progressed in these repeated hours and things that cannot. I could read part of a book, for example, and then continue where I left off when I rewind again. But I wouldn't be able to continue playing a game or travel overseas etc. because any progress I make towards goals that take longer than 12 hours get wiped the instant I rewind. I would be a lonely observer of a day's many possibilities and potential outcomes, only to settle for one that's good enough once the repetitiveness gets stale. Would I turn into a sociopath? Commit heinous acts because I can just rewind anyway? I'm honestly not sure. I'd like to think not, but it seems like a very possible outcome. Okay, maybe I can get a bit carried away sometimes. The ability to travel the multiverse and see the infinite Earths. I know people usually want to see their own counterparts and study the alternate timelines, but I'd just steal the other world's movies and TV shows. In an infinite number of possibilities, one of them is bound to have fixed a lot of mistakes in cinema. When someone on the freeway is driving like a dumbass, I fantasize that I can make them themselves on command. Kinda like a Magneto. I think about this specific superpower all the time. Completely underrated. I'm a writer and have made a couple of planets with its own language and complex religious system. I imagine the gods of those worlds snatching me out of my life and dumping me on one of their planets. Since I don't actually know my language well enough to speak it with the locals, I would resort to pretending to be deaf mute and using sign language to communicate. I would start work as a housekeeper to earn room and board, but religious zealots would seek me out and lock me away until I can fully transcribe all the information and stories I have about the world, because I was on the verge of a fatal accident when I was transported from my dimension, and without my stories and understanding, the worlds and their gods would cease to exist. It would branch a lot from there with me cooperating, rebelling or escaping and or summoning a time travel character of mine to rescue me. Enthralling the masses with songs from our world, and going down in history as the deaf poet, only for Earthlings to show up thousands of years later and being like, wait, why is this song in English? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe so your fantasy will come true.